So good evening everyone. I am Bhavna Shrestha and I work in one of the departments. It's called Learning Institute for Future Excellence. It's one of the centers that fall under Academy of Future Education. This context is important because I'm going to talk about more on how I have been using, I've started using AI recently, it's been a year, and how I have been using AI mostly for my own support. So at Shanjiao Liverpool University, I have tried to visually design my slides, especially my slides, my PPT that I use with my students and also with the teacher trainings. So I think that my pedagogical responsibility is more than aesthetics, because I think for my students, the age group that I work with, especially with the year one students, they feel a bit agitated when they see text heavy slides, and also my classrooms are very international, it's filled with international students and a mix of Chinese students as well. Personally, I don't really understand Chinese language as well, so that has also been one of my challenges. Another one is visual diversity. So a few of my students are students who like doing things hands-on, and there are some students who like capturing the big pictures of my slides for their own purposes. And they also, most of them, apart from the classroom studies, they also like to have accessible slides. So this is one setting, and as a part of life, as a center, I work in different contexts. So one is because I work with year one students and we conduct this transitional course. It's a mandatory course for all the year one students. So we cater to around, so this academic year we cater to around 5,640 students. So it's a very multilingual classroom. And then my other role is also to support some of the teachers from middle school, because XJTLU has also some affiliated schools within different cities of China. I also run different sessions for them. So it's especially trainings related to social emotional learning, and also some of the trainings for belonging, and also some sessions related to inclusion. And then there is another session that I mostly do with first year university students, apart from the regular module that I do, that is called COEL. So it is collaborative online international learning. So what we do is we work with multiple universities and focus on one particular module. They work together on one project. So I mostly work in 3 different settings. So while working in these 3 different settings, since I joined XJTLU back in 2024 September, I personally started facing some challenges related to multilingual, multicultural, and especially cognitively diverse classroom settings. And so I was more interested in supporting myself rather than supporting students. So yes, I was trying to support myself, trying to help students. So my research question was, how can I use AI? Because XJTLU really promotes AI plus education, and I was thinking maybe because it already has SIPU AI, it already has so much access to AI, so what if I can use it? And so because of which, what I thought was maybe I should do it. And then I thought, what if I bring all the theories that I have been working with into one theoretical framework. So I have, while working on this particular research, because this is my personal project and my findings are solely based on self-study, where I have used journal as my method to collect data, and so I have used Kessel's framework. Kessel is very popularly known for its social emotional learning frameworks, and then I have used CRISP multimodality for meaning making, and for this purpose I have used AI as my collaborator so that it will support my work. So talking about Kessel really works with social emotional learning. So it usually talks about, these are 5 major competences, that is self-awareness, social awareness, context, responsible decision making, self-management, and relationship skills. And it works in different folds. That is, it works, it is the integration, social emotional learning to enhance anyone's SEL competencies. You need to really work in curriculum-based instruction. You need to make it a school-wide practice, and you need to also partner with family and community. So in some ways, my role was to curriculum instruction, and then in some ways I took my leverage into school-wide practice and policy through my training. So I have and Kessel's framework has been used in my trainings, and also in some ways when I was making decision of which image to use or how to design my slide. And for that meaning-making purpose, I have used Kress multimodal theory, which talks about that meaning-making is not simply about language, it is more than that. So it simply means that for meaning making, you need to have visuals, you need to be oral, linguistic, gestural, and also spatial. So it depends on context. So in some ways, though I didn't understand professors everything, but I could make a sense of what he was trying to talk about through the text he has written, and also through his gestures and the context that we're at. So it was something very similar that I was trying to make meaning in the context that I was particularly delivering the session. So for that AI support, I particularly used Canva AI only. So whatever the slides I designed, I used Canva AI, and also not just the slides, I also created some materials for that. Also, I used Canva AI. So for that, how I used this framework this is one of the examples where I use this. And my use for visuals were very intentional. So what kind of pictures I want to use? If I give some prompt, what are the mistakes does it make? What are some of the pictures that it usually creates? And what do I really want to use those pictures? It was some kind of questions related to that. And when I was thinking about that, I used to also think of the language. I also was very conscious about the context where I was using that, and to whom I was using it, because for teachers that might not work, but for students it might have worked. So those were mostly the things that I was really working on. And in some ways, when I was integrating AI, what I started thinking was maybe, and for reflective purposes, when I was doing my reflection for my self-study, I used Scon's practice of reflective practice, where I was doing my reflection in 3 ways, particularly reflection in action, reflection on action, that is afterwards, and reflection for. So, and this session that I've been, this presentation is particularly one of my reflection purposes. I've also been recording this so I can go back and look into it and reflect on it further. So this, usually the mix of these particular theories, what I have really found out is that visual is a very emotional architecture, because the kind of color palettes that we use, it represents something. Sometimes it really attracts students, sometimes it drifts them away. Teachers use some form of colors, while students use different form of colors. I really found out that teachers teaching in primary level, primary or kindergarten, like color, they are very bright. But the teachers who are in the higher education, they like a bit of warm color. They don't really use bright colors. And it also represents, for example, when I was creating pictures for the first time initially, I figured out that a lot of pictures that AI generated, if I was not conscious of the prompts, they would eventually automatically generate pictures, those we had men teachers only, or those had only Western, that automatically shows Western people. I myself could not feel represented there. So I was particularly sure that my slides were brown in color, so that it would represent me as well. I come from Nepal, and most of the people you see in Nepal look like me, brown. So that representation was also very important for me. And another one was the minimalist way of designing, where I tried to use more symbols and gestures, and using heavy text heavy materials, so that it would the students wouldn't feel overwhelmed right away when they saw my slides. So it would give them some form of calmness, and then it would also relax them, because like my course, the module that I'm teaching is very intense. It's 1 year long module where the students have to work on projects, especially right away after coming into the university. With the students, they have not really known in the beginning, so they have, from the first week they have to start working with someone very new. So it was a very thought, like intentionally thought design process. That's why for me, one of the findings was that visuals, though in a large number of students, can also work as an emotional architecture, so for learning. And this particular design was something that I used for one of the COIL sessions that I used. I used these pictures to represent different types of, like, different students, diversity of students, because for the COIL, for this particular session, this project I was working, the university students were working with some middle school students of the from Portugal. So given that the students from middle school were very anxious of being in the same setting while being with the university students, and university students were kind of confused, like how they're going to mentor the middle school students. I think the content that I use in this particular in those particular sessions were really mixed, from like using these miniature characters to some characters that also resonate different cultural settings. So that was one of my examples, and it really helped them reduce anxiety, especially for the middle school students. And and later on, when the project ended, one of the terms that they really said frequently was they felt belonged, or synonymous of belonging, that they felt included. Then another was, like, I figured out that for me personally, image was also a meaning making source, not just for them but also for myself, because I was also learning a lot while I was creating those images. So it helped me breeze, like me as well as my students, some prior knowledge with the new content that was expanded through AI. And interestingly, when whatever imagination that you have in your head, with AI now you can just describe that and you can get those visuals, and in some ways your disconnected ideas also starts making sense. So it in some ways helped me meaning making, and these were some very handy flashcards that I made also using a Canva AI. This I used with primary level teachers while I was doing a training related to SEL. So in a way, like the whole year, I use AI for multiple Canva AI for multiple reasons. And in these three particular settings, what I figured out was it would really help reduce my production time. It helped me focus on the pedagogical content. But something that I also realized was, if you don't really reflect on how you're using AI, it's not going to be helpful. It will take more time and it will consume more time rather than like helping you reduce your workload. So and for that I used SCON's reflective practice. This is this is the provided reflection question by SCON. So this is what I used. And this one example that I used in one of the classrooms, mandatory classrooms as well. So if you don't use AI intentionally, this is what you are going to get: a very auto-generated pictures and very Western-centric pictures, white men taking the classes. That is what you will get. But if you use, if you are very conscious about it, intentional about it, you really want to make your class inclusive, then you start with prompting as well. Maybe you can call it prompt engineering. So if you do it more in that manner, then it can help you in getting more clarity. It can help you make meaning of it, and it can help you be more self-aware. And one thing that I have learned further is that more than the students, I think with this particular approach, I started learning more about myself, my own teaching patterns, the colors that I like in my own slides, in my own design. So other than that, I also learned that if we use AI intentionally, then and I use this particular prompt generation approach while preparing my content, and this was really helpful. Especially this iterative loop was helpful. So prompt, generate, evaluate, and revise. So in the beginning, it took me some time, but then later on, I started getting more acquainted with it, and my work time, especially designing time, got reduced. So in some ways, what I can say finally is that with AI enhanced visual design, my pedagogical imagination got enhanced. I hope to use it further in the upcoming days. But what I also want to say myself is that when you start using AI, you become habituated towards it. I also don't want to use my own designing capacity. Like, I am a very visual kind of a learner. I also draw, sketch, and make pictures while learning. So that is what I don't want to lose when I'm using this AI, especially Canva AI.